Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hang out with my favorite nerd,
Ted.
And today we are going to be doing an unorthodox build. We're going to be talking about a Warforged Druid, shiny.
If you want to jump down to the description below, you can learn how to game with Nerdarchy as well as get gaming tips by signing up for Nerdarchy the newsletter.
So now, stop, Mike Gould, stop right now. I know you're going to say you guys already did this build before, because we have. We've done it. But I'm using this build in a game, and I've made some tweaks and changes. GM Juce, he's got a channel that you guys should check out. If I remember, I'll put it down in the description. But he's going to be running a game, his Orc Head Pass game, and I'm going to be one of the players in it, work willing. And I was like, so the reason I decided on being a Warforged Druid was because I was like, well, what are you using for stats? And he's like, well, you can use a standard array. I think he said you could use point buy, but I prefer if you roll. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so I was like, well, what can I be that my dice rolls won't matter so much? Because the dice kind of tend to hate me.
Yeah, Dave does not have the best luck when it comes to rolling dice, especially at character creation.
And so there's a couple things. I had a couple goals when coming up with this character. One is I wanted to play something I haven't played before. Mm-hmm. Two, I wanted to make it interesting and different. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll play a Circle of the Moon Druid. Then my stats don't matter nearly as much, for combat anyway. I'm going to wild shape. Mm-hmm. So I ended up rolling my stats, and I essentially got slightly worse than the standard array. I don't have them in front of me, so I can't tell you what they are. I do know that I only ended up with one negative after I put my 9 in strength.
All right, so you didn't wind up with 3 6s or anything like that?
No. He's got, I ended up, I think I have like an 8 in Dex, and like my con is probably, I either don't have a con bonus or it's like a +1, and I actually dumped all my highest stats in my mentals.
Okay.
So and I named him Shiny because shiny is actually the first word he heard when he activates. Right. 2 halfling brothers find him, and this is a little bit of riffing off of the unorthodox build we did before. And I said, like, all right, so. But here's where things get a little different. One, he's not actually a Warforged. He's a clockwork person. And I was like, one of the things I asked Juice is, hey, when I wild shape, can I wild shape into clockwork animals?
So you're not actually wild shaping. You're actually transforming.
I'm actually transforming. So that's one of the things. The other thing is I named him Shiny from Firefly. Right. And so now I have to go back before we actually play. I have to find all the Firefly quotes that I can find.
That are going to be apropos.
Yeah, and I want to try and sneak them into the game wherever I can. One, and he does kind of talk like a robot or an automaton. And so he may even speak to himself in a third person a lot of times. But I'm going with you, like, he doesn't really know who he is or what he was before. He just knows that he was designed and purpose was for advanced forward deployment and reconnaissance, right? And instead of calling himself a druid, he's just basically says when he explains what he does, he performs naturomancy.
Okay.
Right. So and then the other idea, like his verbal spell components will all be like clicks, whirls, whistles. As long as the DM's okay with that, I don't see why not. He would like. If he can be silenced, then he can't cast his spells or verbals. I want to reflavor a lot of things. Like Thorn Whip is one of his cantrips. When he uses, he's going to shoot out a spike chain. Instead of actually using a Thorn Whip. Right. The idea for a lot of his somatic components for his spells are actually moving parts on him that will actually do things. Nice. I plan on taking Pass Without Trace, so like a big thing with him is when he goes to scout is he casts Pass Without Trace, and then he wild shapes to a form that is going to make that task much easier. Now, granted, anyone looking at him is like, he's not going to go, that's an actual animal by any means, because, he's a clockwork, whatever.
Right.
But, being able to turn into a great cat or a giant spider or something along those lines is going to make him, God bless, make him very effective at scouting, I believe.
Okay.
That'll give him the dex that he needs, as well as the ability to climb and things like that. Then the other thing that I asked if I could do is like, can I get rid of my armor and shield proficiency for skill proficiencies?
Nice.
So I'm kind of torn on background between soldier and criminal, and with criminal I was thinking like the spy variant.
Okay.
Because I actually wanted to, so, but I have the extra skills to play with, so I might just go soldier and just put them in things like like stealth and perception,
Right.
and to make him more effective as a scout.
Well, looking at spy, it has its interests, or it has an interesting take on it. But if you are something that is unique, I don't know how many clockwork people are going to be in his game. Unless you're really good at disguise, it's like, oh, do I put on a fake face?
Well, yeah. Well, so I was really just looking at the skill set, really, like the ability to disarm traps, using thieves' tools, the stealth aspect of it, that kind of things. Disguise, isn't going to be something that he'd be particularly good at, and I don't know. I don't think you get that anyway.
Okay.
I don't remember off the top of my head if that's what you get from the criminal background.
Okay, no, I believe you're right. I believe you do get the thieves' tools.
Yeah, you get thieves' tools, maybe a gaming set, and then
Stealth and intimidation, I believe.
stealth is definitely one. Is it intimidation? I don't know, but or maybe deception.
Deception.
Yeah. So I figured like those things would play into the fact that he's a scout more than anything. And and the idea is that he's just going, he's going the wild shape for most of his tasks. The low dexterity is the fact that his movements aren't smooth and fluid; they're a little bit jerky, and mechanical in nature. He's imperfect. So
does he require winding?
No winding.
Okay, that's good.
That might be a little bit. That might be a little drastic. I'm not sure what Juice would do with that. I don't want to know.
All right. Well, you wound down. You shut down until somebody.
You go up to the barbarian, which is Andrew Knapp, and you're like, "Hey, you have to insert this key. You have to insert this key in turn." He's like, "I gotta put it where?" Come on, turn me on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I think this is gonna be fun. We have Andrew Knapp playing in it.
Juice is running.
Juice is running it. Andrew Armstrong from DFC's in there.
Nice.
And oh god, I feel so bad because there's one other player, and I can't remember his name. I have not played with him before.
Okay.
I can picture his profile picture, but I can't remember the name. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think the idea is we're in the army and we kill orcs or something.
Do you know when this is going to start?
The 27th is the first game.
27th of September?
September, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, obviously, like, when we do our weekly wraps, I'll put that game in the link in the description as well, so if you guys want to check it out, you can.
Very cool.
And maybe beforehand I can, like, either tweet or Facebook something now, so you guys can come watch me play if you want to.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have some ideas for how I want to role play them. I definitely want to use... I don't know if this is going to be an issue in the game, but I'm really leaning heavily more from science fiction than fantasy for inspiration on this one, and I kind of want to play him like, I want to use words like designation and things that might be a little bit, the terminology might be a little too sci-fi.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out like, well, how would a construct say that as opposed to like a robot?
Right.
So those are some things. And like I said, I have to cherry pick through the Firefly quotes to see how many of those I can cram into it. Yeah. So I want to kind of do a little comedic thing, but as the straight man.
Right. Well, you got about 15 and a half hours of content to pull through.
Yeah, or I can just probably pull up online a sheet of quotes.
Well, if you want to make it easy as opposed to enjoyable.
Watching through and taking notes. I have to figure out how to use, no power in the verse.
Special kind of hell, leaf on the wind. Those are definitely.
Well, leaf on the wind, I feel like is an easy one. But,
well, yeah, but I mean that
big damn heroes. Yeah, so there's I'll kill you with my brain. There's definitely some good stuff there.
Oh, absolutely, it's really well written.
Actually, and I would love to troll through the comments and see which quotes you guys think I should try and incorporate into the game. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can support us over on Patreon.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.